Hello, my name is Alex Chandler.
My name is Tommy Sullivan. As of today, there are over 230 million immigrants throughout the world, which makes up over 3% of the world's population.
Today, we will be doing a special segment on one of the issues plaguing us today. Starting our program off, here with us today is our expert in immigration, Carter Ho, now located in Turkey. Mr. Ho, thank you for being with us. Tell us, what do you see?
Well, thanks for having me today. Here in Turkey, as you can see, thousands of immigrants are traveling north and coast of obtaining asylum.
And what are the conditions these immigrants are facing? Why will they go such great lengths to leave their home?
Yes, the conditions out here are brutal, Alex. Many of these immigrants have limited clothes, and I've seen a few without shoes. To travel the long distances, most scrap everything not essential, and keep only what they can carry. They make this dangerous journey because of the civil war in Syria, where people are fighting each other for political, economical, and religious reasons.
And how do these immigrants cope with the psychological pressures of leaving their homes with limited resources with dangerous circumstances?
Well, Tommy, I don't know nearly as much as some do, but it's easy to tell that these immigrants are suffering greatly from a lack of acceptance in the countries that they travel to. Currently, there have been just over 1.3 million asylum claims in Europe alone. Most have been from the European Union. However, it is important to remember that countries such as Norway and Switzerland have also helped with the crisis.
Well, thank you for bringing that up. Just for the numbers, 140,000 claims have been granted by Germany alone, while the remaining of the top 5 claim-granting countries have 78,000.
Yes, Tommy, that is true. However, it is important to remember that the statistics that you're referring to only account for 1 year. They don't pertain to the dates preceding 2015, or even up to our current date today.
Are any of these immigrants coming from countries other than Syria?
Why, yes. As a matter of fact, other immigrants are coming from Afghanistan, Iraq, Nigeria, Iran, and Ukraine.
And how many of these Syrian refugees are registered?
In total, about 4.8 million Syrian refugees are registered. Remember that this number does not account for the unregistered or illegal refugees. The number of asylum applications is continuing to rise.
How did this entire situation start? What led to such instability in today's refugee crisis? Briefly explain, we don't have much time.
Well, I can answer that. The dividing and conquering of the Middle East and greedy actions led to the destabilization of the region. From encouraging revolutions to dividing up the Ottoman Empire, there is a long list of actions from many European nations that led to the complete chaos today over the region. Today, ISIS, conflicts from the Syrian government, and rebel groups have all caused citizens to flee for their lives for at least some sense of safety.
And tell me, what pressures do these migrants face? And where exactly do they go?
I have talked to many immigrants today, and many worry about a struggle for status in the city that they go to. But it is not just Europe they are fleeing to. Most decide to stay in the region of the Middle East. Jordan, Turkey, and Lebanon hold millions of refugees. Lebanon has a 1-to-4 ratio of refugees to citizens. Although there is more than enough room and money to house the people, political, social, economic problems, and public opinion prevent this from happening.
Much hostility has emerged from the intake of immigrants due to rising problems associated with accepting people in different cultures and backgrounds. In Germany and Sweden, the oppression and abuse of women by a very small minority of immigrants has caused major backlash for letting in record numbers of immigrants.
Yes, the limited acceptance of these immigrants from Europe has been a major cause for the overflow of immigrants in Lebanon, Jordan, and Turkey.
The dangerous journey of crossing the Mediterranean has caused over 4,000 deaths from the extremely risky journey. These people were not the lucky ones who were saved after a 300-mile journey. The EU recently made a deal with Turkey that's goal was to slow down this flow of immigrants, and this has also led to lots of them going back to Turkey instead of the EU.
Carter?
Yes, I interviewed Turkish leaders on the deal, and they seemed to be happy. But they also wanted this deal to lead the Turkish citizens eventually being able to cross the EU and travel under the Schengen Accord, as they have been seeking EU membership in the recent years.
And to add a little, this deal is that for every Syrian sent back from Greece to Turkey, A Syrian already in Turkey will get resettled somewhere in the European Union. The idea is that it will encourage Syrians to legally stay inside of their country instead of making a risky journey. This will also help them get a betting starting over in Europe.
Yes, for a European point of view, this deal will spread out the immigrants instead of just mostly Italy and Greece, and also hopes to greatly help Greece and Italy keep from collapsing under the pressure that all of these immigrants are bringing with them. This deal will also lead to fewer rescues on the Mediterranean coast, which will allow for emergency crews in the region to care for their own citizens.
And it is also important to keep in mind that once these immigrants successfully enter Europe, they are not always embraced. Hate for refugees has emerged in many regions as some right-wing groups are pouncing on the frustration by blaming domestic problems on the new refugees.
Yes, I have also noticed such behaviors. Groups such as the Golden Dawn in Greece, Jobbik in Hungary, and other ones are capitalizing on all this hatred.
Some of the immigrants hoping to reach safety worry about xenophobia when they see these groups blaming all their problems on them. But to some, the few immigrants involved in terrorism represent the masses. Others believe otherwise because they feel immigrants are being unfairly scrutinized for the things that they are not responsible for.
This is really a tricky issue, and hopefully it will be resolved without further violence as soon as possible. Now we will move on to the political aspect of immigration, and for that info, we will move into North America.
Over in America, there's one man making a huge deal about this, and for this, we go to our immigration expert again, Carter.
Yeah, guys, it's pretty sketchy out here. Although you can't see anyone right now, there are thousands of illegal immigrants attempting to cross the 2,000-mile border into the U.S.
And did he get a chance to catch up with any of these illegal immigrants?
No, the people try to stay out of our sight as they will be sent back to their original country if they are caught. As of right now, there are around 10 million undocumented immigrants residing in the United States alone. As of recent, most illegal immigrants from Mexico are actually trying to return to their country. They want to go to the U.S. or return back home to seek a better life. Many United States citizens, however, believe that these immigrants pose problems for the United States. In a recent poll, 92% of the people thought that immigration was a problem. Out of these 92%, 77% of them thought that immigration is not just a minor problem, but a very serious one.
And what are the outcomes of such a great influx of immigrants?
Well, Alex, the illegal immigrants that have come over to the United States have contributed to society by providing cheap labor to businesses that struggle to find people to work at minimum wage or below. This is because they are willing to do anything in order to get a better life. They also are willing, in general, to take lower paying jobs than most Americans don't want.
Thank you, Carter, for that information. How is this immigration problem a political one, and should we be worried about illegal immigrants?
This is a political problem because Donald Trump is leading in the polls in the Republican primary mainly because most Republicans feel that immigration is a serious issue in the U.S. that needs to be slowed down or stopped. Others in the Democratic side feel like these illegal immigrants aren't doing as much harm as most people say they are.
Now for some statistics, we will go to Carter Ho.
Okay, just for some interesting facts. Certain calculations claim the United States has spent over $200 billion on stopping immigration since the Immigration Reform and Control Act in 1986. More immigrants and refugees are women than men. Other studies claim immigrants in the United States help the economy by up to 5 to 10%, even though more Mexican immigrants are returning to Mexico than are coming in, according to a new report by Pew Research Center.
Yes, thank you for that great report, Carter. This is me, Tommy Sullivan, and
Alex Chandler.
signing off for BBC News. Thank you and goodbye.